Aggies, the Jazz, the high schools. If it's the sport you care about, we're talking about it. The Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's a Thursday. Thanks for tuning in, joining us on another edition of the Full Court Press. Eric Frandsen, Ajay Salvesen. You can also stream us online, besides just over the radio. 1069thefan.com. That's the address.
Find us.
We're there.
We're somewhere there.
Hey,
there.
I may have misled you when we were talking about this Preps Pick'em that we're doing. Cache Valley Media Group Preps Pick'em.
Yeah.
You will need to sign in and register. I thought that maybe if you had registered before, that it should be there, but I think the way that I'm looking at it on the back end, I'm not sure that that's the case. I think you have to create a new account.
Really?
It's new, okay?
What's my password be?
We're still trying to figure it out.
Francie Pantsy. That's what I do. Francie Pantsy.
So it's you can go to
illegal touching.
cvpick'em.com.
Michael Scott's Tots.
There you go. That's your fantasy football team.
I know you love that. We aren't going to lose. Okay. Well, I'll re-sign up again. Hold on. Dang it.
Okay, there is a link to the pick'ems at our website, 1069thefan.com. Maybe that's just the easiest way. Yeah. We'd encourage you to go there anyway, to listen to our past episodes, find out all the different things going on with our show. But the Preps Pick'em, it's presented by Locker 42, and we'll be giving away prizes every week. And you go in and you just select who you think is going to win. We'll have it every week. The teams that are going to be playing games, and you can just pick winners and losers. Well, you don't pick losers. You pick who's going to win. We want to be positive. You pick who you think the winner's going to be.
Everybody wins.
Yeah, that's right. This week you're choosing from Juan Diego and Bear River, Skyview and Stansbury, Tooele and Green Canyon, Logan and Provo, Mountain Crest and Salem Hills, Box Elder and what was that other one? Kearns. Box Elder and Kearns. So go ahead and log in, create an account, and then go through and check who you think is going to win. As we go a few more weeks into this, more teams will be added because the Idaho schools aren't involved yet. They're not playing yet. But Malad, Preston, West Side, Bear Lake, they'll be added into this mix.
Time out. So wait, I just signed up for an account, and it says I've already registered for an account.
Did you try logging in then with that same password? All right. We've got some things we've got to figure out.
I'm just going to put that I forgot my password.
There you go.
I don't have time for this.
But anyway, the after each week, so on Monday morning, actually, probably over the weekend, actually, because these games are Friday, there is an exception. There's one game on Saturday by Logan. But within a few days, we'll put it that way, within a few days of these games happening, then a winner will be announced. A different prize will be given for whoever had the best scores with how they did their picks for this contest. The Preps Pick'em presented by Locker 42. And details, links, how to register and how to participate, just go to 1069thefan.com. And there's a big banner right there on the right-hand side. Scroll down a little bit. You'll see it. Can't avoid it.
Hey, that's Big Spanks. Big thanks to Dee Jones. Big thanks to Dee Jones, who the brainiac of the Rocky Mountain Kickoff, to come into studio and join us and talk about the event itself. It is a up-and-coming event. It is huge, and it's getting bigger by the year. This year, you've got Logan Preston at 6, 20 minutes after the completion of that game. Shelley, Idaho, and Skyview will be after that. You get tickets. You can find them at the Stokes Market in Preston. You can find them at Logan, Skyview High Schools, or at Utah State University.
Right, at their ticket office.
Yep. And so $7 gets you into both games, by the way. Is that right? $7 gets you into both games?
$7. That's it.
And get them now because you don't have to sit in line.
Right. And
you will sit in line.
Important to remember that if you go to your own high school game, if you're a student, you just show your student ID and you get in. That's not going to work here because it's at a different venue.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of different costs involved with hosting these games.
Yep.
Than it does cost. So everybody.
That's a great point, man.
Everybody will need to buy a ticket to get in. And highly encourage you getting your tickets ahead
including
of time.
you, Eric. Don't try to use your name to get in, okay?
I just walk in and say, don't you know who I am?
Don't you know who I am? You know who I am.
That's right.
I go in there and I'm like, I'm Ajay Salvesen. Yeah, who cares? Where's your ticket? I'm Eric Frandsen. Oh, yeah, come on in, Eric. Great. What's the password? Eric Frandsen. Okay, I'm in.
That's all it takes.
Hey, are we... Oh, never mind. I'll ask you off air. I better not ask you on air. That'd be a bad question to ask. All right,
yeah, So, anyway, so that's going on. High school football games begin tomorrow.
Oh, my gosh,
so
tomorrow.
Just a quick rundown of what's happening tomorrow.
I'm going to cry.
Ajay, you're going to have some fun with this. You're involved.
I'm involved?
At least you should be. We hope you are. So here's what's going on for Region 11. They are all involved tomorrow. They all have games tomorrow. Here's where these teams are playing, how you can follow along. We'll have previews of these teams from their play-by-play guys tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But Bear River, they are hosting Juan Diego tomorrow. That starts at 7 o'clock. You can, if you're in Box Elder County, you can hear it on 104.9 FM. If you're not in Box Elder County and you still want to follow along, there's a link. You can stream it live on CashValleyDaily.com. Skyview, which will be heard right here on this station, they are going to be at Stansbury tomorrow night. John Newbold will be on the call. By the way, Tommy Sorensen and Logan Jones, they'll be calling the play-by-play for Bear River this year.
Yep.
That should be fun. Actually, that'll be a really fun broadcast.
It'll be really good. I'm excited about that. And you should be too, Bear River fans. It was fun to call games from last year, but I'm just not going to be here around enough to be consistent, and they deserve a consistent play-by-play voice and color analyst, and those two are going to be awesome.
Yeah, they'll be a lot of fun. For Skyview, John Newbold reprises his role for the Bobcats. He's been doing that for a lot of years. But he does have a new color analyst, Rex Davis. He'll be joining him. Rex had been doing Mountain Crest for several years, but he's sliding over to join John Newbold for the Skyview broadcasts, which will be right here on 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. For the Green Canyon Wolves, they're going to be hosting Tooele tomorrow, and that'll be on 100.9 FM. Craig Hislop, again, calls the play-by-play for the Wolves this season, and he has a new color analyst. Our good buddy John Russell will be joining him. That should be fun. Should be entertaining.
Entertaining more.
Yes. So anyway, that's Green Canyon hosting Tooele tomorrow night on 100.9 FM. Logan, they are going to be on the road. They're at Provo tomorrow night. Al Lewis on the play-by-play there, and that'll be a long-time broadcast partner continues. It's been going for, over 70 years. It'll be on KVNU, 610 AM, 102.1 FM, and Logan will be at Provo. Al Lewis on the call there. The Ridgeline Riverhawks, they're home. They're versus Pineview. Pineview's a really good team coming up from Southern Utah. That'll be a really tough challenge for the Riverhawks, a really early test for Coach Van Leeuwen. That'll be on 104.5 FM. And again, we'll go through the streaming links, how to find those. But Dave Simmons is doing the play-by-play there. Again, he's been doing that for several years. Nick Zollinger is going to be his broadcast partner in the booth. And then finally, Mountain Crest Mustangs. They're on the road tomorrow night. They're going to be on 107.7 FM. They're at Salem Hills. Ajay Knight and Dr. Salvesen will be joining him for those broadcasts covering the Mustangs. And again, if you want to see the full schedule and links to stream these games wherever you are, on your desktop or find the links. You can click on it and stream it on your mobile device. Just go to cachevalleydaily.com. And if you're looking for it, we have banners all over the site. But if you don't see those, just go to the menu and to the sports and local prep sports. And then you'll see the link there for the high school football schedule. So,
well, if you don't see it, go to Walmart, go to the eye care center, get your eyes fixed, and then come back and check the computer screen.
Or get a traditional AM/FM radio, because we've got all those games on different radio stations that you can follow. But if you do have friends, family outside of the area that want to follow along, they can do that online as well. So anyway, we'll get a little more detail about these teams and how they're preparing for the season and what their opponents look like tomorrow. So stay tuned for that.
Yay. I can't believe it's already starting. I'm not even ready yet. I mean, me and AJ just did some prepping today, and I don't even think it was really prepping.
You need to do better, Ajay.
I am ready.
Mountain Crest Mustang fans are counting on you to be their eyes and ears.
You know, I saw the one big guy block the other little guy, and he blocked him really well. And that's what happened on that play.
And he looked like he tried really hard.
Someone get him a Capri Sun drink and a donut. Is it Capri Sun? Yeah, Capri Sun.
Capri Sun and some orange slices.
Yeah. Oh, man, I miss my Little League football days.
Hey, Team USA is getting ready for an exhibition tomorrow against Spain. They're going to be heading to the FIBA World Cup the next few weeks, heading overseas. I think they got a few exhibitions along the way.
I think they're headed to Australia.
Yeah, they're going to kind of ease their way to China for this. They have a few exhibitions along the way just to tune things up. But they do play against Spain tomorrow. And as you kind of alluded to this earlier, Ajay, there were some interesting conversations about, and we've been reading some of this, about how people are pretty high on Donovan Mitchell and how well he's doing in this Team USA camp.
Yeah, it's been talked about by Tony Jones on Twitter. I mean, that's where it's kind of floated around. It's besides USA Today. They noted how good he's been playing, so you think, oh, okay, well, maybe he looks all right, yada, yada, yada. Driving home today, I was listening to the BS podcast hosted by Bill Simmons, who does an incredible job. Great work.
Is it Bill Simmons or Ben Simmons?
No, it's Bill Simmons.
Ben Simmons is the basketball player.
No, Ben Simmons is the actor on, the former actor on Will and Grace. He's really good.
Maybe he should do a podcast with the other Ben Simmons.
Yeah, hopefully it's not on how to shoot. Please don't. Bill Simmons hosted Brian. You're such a bung. Bill Simmons hosted Brian Windhorst on a podcast today on the BS podcast, and
or was it a Bill Windhorst? Okay.
I'll exit stage right. All right. And
so they were
to Bill Winnington.
So they were talking about...
Okay, so they're talking about...
Team USA, the camp.
About Team USA. And Brian's done a great job of covering Team USA. He's going to be going to China when they head there. He'll be in Tokyo next year for the Olympics. He's going to cover Team USA like he covers LeBron. Like he wears his own socks. He's going to be all over them, stinky or not. And so during his coverage, he found some... He found a player to be very astute and very good at playing basketball. And Bill Simmons had heard same rumors. And here in this audio right here you're about to hear, Brian Windhorst and Bill talk about the player that stood out to them, to not only Brian and Bill, but to also people inside the scrimmage itself.
We didn't get to see all the practice, but Pop did let us see quite a few scrimmages and, of course, the game. So I probably watched them play 5 scrimmages. I don't know how many they had total. Maybe they had 6, maybe they had 15. But I think I got a pretty good feel by watching. And then I talked to the executives who were allowed to watch it, and I talked to the USA basketball folks. And the guy who exploded off the court, the guy who's made everybody's eyes open up and dominated the week, was Donovan Mitchell.
I was going to ask you about that because I had sent some under the radar feelers for like, hey, who knocked everybody's socks off this week? And Mitchell was the guy. And everybody, it seems like he's a little stronger. I don't know what he did this summer, but they just were like, he was so strong, so explosive. It's starting to feel like there's some 2000 6 Dwayne Wade potential with his next season, was what I gathered. What did you see?
I hate to fall into the Dwayne Wade thing, as people say, but when you watch him play, that's what you see. It's just like, he moves like Dwayne. He's built like Dwayne. The way he's a better shooter. He's not a great outside shooter. He's a better shooter than Dwayne was, but Dwayne wasn't really a good shooter. He was never really a good outside shooter. He looks so much like him to me. It's crazy.
Well, think about it. He turns 23 next month. So that was right around the age when Wade, his rookie year, which you remember, he was really good. And he had a nice little playoff run. And we thought, oh, wow, we underrated this guy. This guy has a chance to be really, really good. And then the next year he went up a notch when Shaq showed up. But we still didn't think, there was that he had the chance to be like one of the best 3 guys in the league. And then that third season, it really started like March, April range and went into the playoffs where all of a sudden he became one of the best guys in the league. And if Mitchell is going to follow that path, this would be the season. This is season 3 for him, and they're exactly the same age.
And Mitchell played some point guard last year, and he's going to play some point guard for this team. And if you remember, Wade played some point guard early in his career.
Yeah.
And so it gave him a little bit more. I was talking to him about this, and I don't think he wants to play that much of it in the league, but he said, because if you remember last year, the Jazz, just their point guard situation was a disaster with injuries and other stuff. But he's like, when you play point guard in the NBA and you have experience at operating at that level, it just gives you a confidence that you didn't have before. So he looks really confident. And the other guy, so if I could say the 3 guys who really stood out to me, again, week 1, it's a 6-week thing. Tatum, Mitchell, and De'Aaron Fox.
Wow. Did they just compare Donovan Mitchell to a basketball player who ended up winning the finals MVP?
Hall of Famer.
And a Hall of Famer, but in that year, 06 specifically, had outrageous numbers in the NBA finals and in the NBA playoffs nonetheless. Did they just compare Donovan Mitchell to that guy?
Yes, they did. They're not the first. There's been several other people kind of make those comparisons.
Yeah, but 06 Dwayne, but they weren't specific.
But those have been like, oh yeah, he's kind of like but this is more like this is freaky how close in comparison he is.
And so I watched a few highlights on 06 Dwayne Wade. I need to sit down and watch a full game on him, maybe of the NBA Finals when he played the Dallas Mavericks, and just see what the likenesses are. What do Bill and Brian see that I look at it and say, yeah, you know what? It is there. Is it the drive to the hoop? Is it the aggressiveness offensively? Is it some of the footwork offensively? What is it? That's insane. And by the way, it's not just Bill and Brian thinking that, but there's league executives who are on that floor, who are at least watching that scrimmage. League executives who are like, this guy is, look, Jason Tatum's probably the most, athletic player. Kemba might be the best shooter and maybe the best leader. But the best overall player on the court is Donovan Mitchell. At 23 years old, on a FIBA World Cup team, he's the best player. And I know you're saying, well, James Harden and shut up. We're talking about a FIBA World Cup team who's about to go play all these other great NBA players around the world, and Donovan Mitchell is standing out above the rest. That is amazing to me. But my question to you is, does the hype train need to slow down a little bit, or are they onto something, Eric?
Well, until we see these games happen, maybe we should tamp it down a little bit. Until we see how this team performs and how he kind of integrates into that role against Spain, again when the FIBA World Cup really gets going, maybe we should temper our enthusiasm slightly. But it's clear that he's having a good off season. That's without question. And last year, it was the summer of Donovan Mitchell. He had just come off of his rookie campaign. He went everywhere people asked him to go. It was like he was running for mayor or running for governor.
Yeah.
And if he wanted to, we would have all elected him.
Yeah.
And granted, he also had an injury that prevented him from doing some things that he needed to do for his off-season improvement. This year, we've seen videos. He's working out with Mike Conley. He's doing things to try to improve his game. He's taking it more seriously. He's taking a different approach this offseason. And early reports from what we're seeing in this camp is that he's doing very well. And he's grown and improved a lot, matured a lot.
Yeah.
He's going to be a player.
And they talked about on this podcast that Kemba's the flat out captain, overall leader of this team, bar none, hands down, anywhere, anytime. But in regards of Kemba can't play all 48 minutes of a game or whatever it's going to be. You need someone else that you can put on the court and say, look, in fact, this is a great podcast too, by the way. They do a great job of kind of breaking it down of what this team needs compared to what the teams in the past have had. So the 08, the 92 Dream Team had Jordan, the 08 team had Kobe Bryant, the 12 team had LeBron James, and the 16 team had Kevin Durant. So each team had a leader on it, right? Like a foreborn leader on it. But then you needed someone else when Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, and Durant weren't on the court. And then there'd be other guys that step up. So Magic Johnson would be on the court. The 08 team had Chris
Carmelo
Paul.
Anthony.
Carmelo Anthony was a big one, by the way. Crazy
play.
As it is. The 12 team had Chris Paul, really. The 16 team had LeBron James. And so this team's going to have Donovan Mitchell as that kind of, you know what? I need to step up and I need to be the guy here. They're going to need somebody when the going gets tough and you're on the road in a country that's hostile and want you to get absolutely just blasted. You need someone to be able to look at, and everyone's going to be looking at somebody, and if it's not Kemba, it's probably going to be Mitchell at 23, Eric.
The other guy that a lot of reports are getting very high on is De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, very quickly,
really
too. That exploded off the scene in a minute.
That he's improved his shooting.
From what I'm hearing, too, he's got already a locked-on spot. He's on the roster.
Right. Yeah.
So
he went from the select team to moving to the other
just
guys,
like that,
and they're like, they
didn't waste any time with
away.
That. Yeah, and the thing is when you look at it, I said it yesterday, and I'm almost more certain today after listening to this podcast, they know who they're cutting. I think they've got their roster set, and they'll probably get one last look at it to make sure they're all, hey, you're good, we're all still in agreement. Great, cut it. Let's move on and let's get ready.
Well, I think they want to see what this team looks like against competition.
Yeah, real competition too.
Right, in a game.
Yeah,
in practice is one thing.
Yeah,
playing a game is something different.
Yeah, but that's exciting. That's exciting to hear that Donovan Mitchell is going there and he's not in awe. He's not like, oh my gosh, it's Greg Popovich. Oh, it's Kemba Walker. It's, hey, I'm Donovan Mitchell. In fact, I think it's in that pot. Forgive me. It might have been in a story. But when Donovan got there on the first day, they were having like this little light scrimmage, and Donovan, and I think it's a league executive, anonymously, he reports this, says that Donovan went to the hoop on a spin, stopped on the dime, spin right, lefty layup, got it to go in. And then I think they called like a break, and Donovan grabs a towel and says, man, I am the best bleeping player on this bleeping court. Loudly. That kid's got swag, confidence, and he knows when he belongs, and he feels like he definitely belongs on this roster. Oh, jeez.
It's gonna be fun. This podcast also got into the Utah Jazz as well.
Oh, it's so good. Do you want to do that now or after the break?
We're going to take a timeout.
Let's
when
do
we
that.
come back
Let's
on the
do
other
that.
side, we will we'll hear what Bill Windhorst and Brian Simmons how they talked about the Utah Jazz. Some of the changes they've made to their roster, and what's going on over there, and what the Jazz might look like with some of the changes they've made. That's coming up next on the Full Court Press.
The Aggies, the Jazz, the high schools, the Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Eric Frandsen, Ajay Salvesen.
Eric, I still haven't got my email
What email?
to reset my password.
Well,
Send
nothing I can do
password
about
reset
that.
link. A password email just has been sent to your email. Well, send it already, you fetchers. Oh, there it is.
Just refresh your email. And
How
it's there.
hard was that? Password thingamajigger?
So we'd invite you to join our Prep Pick'em contest. There is a link on 1069thefan.com. It'd be the easiest way to find it. And sign up. Go pick the teams you think are going to win this weekend, and you could win some free swag. So that'll be going on for the entire high school football season. Should be a lot of fun. We'll update it from week to week. And
Hey, it showed up.
it's a chance to win a really big, nice television, courtesy of Lynn's Audio and Videos. So go check it out. 1069thefan.com. That's where you find the link to do that.
Yay.
We were talking about this podcast the other day. Two guys that follow the NBA very closely, guys who have been talking to league executives, guys who have been following this Team USA practices in Las Vegas. It's now shifted to Los Angeles, speaking very highly about Donovan Mitchell. And to continue that, they talked not only about his personal development, but about the evolution of the Utah Jazz roster and how things the pieces are in place now to make the Jazz even more competitive than they were a year ago. Ajay, anything additional that about their comments about the Utah Jazz, about what changes they've made here in the offseason?
No, I thought you phrased it really, really well, Eric. They do. They go into what the problem was last year first, and then look at what they look at the additions, but they look at the problems last year, and then they say, with these guys, they can fix those problems from last year and put it into this year. They're sneaky high on Ed Davis, which a lot of people are like, what the heck, guys?
No one's talking about Ed Davis.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right. They're like, what the heck are you doing? Why do you like Ed Davis? Who's Ed Davis? Well, you're going to get to know Ed Davis really quickly, and so is the NBA. And with Quinn Snyder, he's going to make a fortune out of that guy on the NBA in regards of plus minus. So they talk about him. They talk about what Donovan Mitchell can do now with Mike Conley on the court, and what Bojanovic and how high they are on it. So that's all here. This is on the BS podcast. Bill Simmons, Brian Simmons, and Bill Windhorst.
I want to go back to the four guys we talked about at the top. So Mitchell, there's some Utah, they made those moves. I like Bogdanovich. Conley's obviously massive. I still felt like they were too much of a finesse team, I guess is how I would put it. Like, I worry about their ability to kind of bang. And now, after seeing this Mitchell thing and the response that he's been getting, and now thinking about what that would look like with Connolly, and Connolly just taking away all the ball handling stuff from him and I'll set these guys up. You just worry about producing points. Do you buy this Utah thing as a title team? This has been one of the summer themes. They've been kind of the hot, sexy, watch out for those guys pick. Are you buying?
I also really liked their other sort of minor moves. Ed Davis.
Yeah.
At value. So, the thing with them is that they just haven't, they've had a couple of issues, but they haven't had shooting. And, it wasn't just Rubio. They haven't had shooting. And also, their schedule has been inverted the last few years. So I haven't studied their schedule this year, but they had like by Christmas last year, they played half their road games or something. And so they've started off slow, and then they had injuries. And so they sort of have been out of the conversation the last couple of years, and they've come on because their schedule has been funky and been way easier later.
Yeah.
So they've had difficult time gaining credibility because they've always played from behind. And they've also just generally, that they haven't had the stars to draw in the eye. So Mitchell can change all that and then be a difference-making player. So, I mean, Bogdanovich is a two-way player who has proven to be, I think, pretty good in clutch situations.
Yeah, and somebody who has shown he can actually defend LeBron, not shut him down, but at least bother him a tiny bit. Little sort of, maybe.
And Conley can play on the ball or off, and I just think it's such a great fit.
I also like getting that guy right at the point of his career, like where Kidd was at when he went to Dallas in 08-09, where you're getting the guy who's come really close a couple times but never was able to make the finals or get over the hump or whatever. And you just know he's showing up this year, like in the biggest way possible, on top of the fact that Mitchell is going to be making this little mini leap. I was watching them last year. I always just felt like when push came to shove, it was just too hard for them to score. That, it really was just Mitchell trying to create stuff. And then there was nobody else on that team that I felt like could reliably get a bucket. And now I feel like Conley will be able to be the second guy that can get them some stuff. And then Bogdanovich, who's streaky, but is a guy who can take over like game 4 of a playoff series, and score 18 in the fourth or do something like that. So I do feel like they're offensively more unpredictable.
That twice in a playoff series, Jeff Green will have a good game.
Mitchell. So here's the difference. We were talking about him and Dwayne Wade before. Mitchell last year, 5.1 free throw attempts in year 2, right? Dwayne Wade in year 2 was 9.9. Dwayne Wade, people remember because it's a recency bias, like the later incarnation of Dwayne Wade. Young Dwayne Wade, he went to the line basically 10 to 10 and a half times a year for 5 straight years from 05 to 09. On top of, he wasn't really shooting 3-pointers, but that'll be the last piece for Mitchell. If he can, he needs to get to the rim and to the line a tiny bit more, and then the Dwayne Wade thing will start to feel a little more real to me. But I'm excited. I think that's one of the best subplots. Yep.
Yeah, you put pressure on the officials.
Oh, that's true. That was the big, that led to the big officiating crisis of 2006. All right, so we...
Yeah, Bill Simmons and his conspiracy theories with officials is always the best when he explains it and he breaks it down for you. That's Bill Simmons and Brian Windhorst on the BS podcast, which you can find on all podcast platforms, as you can find the Full Court Press like such on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. It was a great conversation. The whole entire conversation for all 96 minutes is incredible, to be honest with you. It's really good stuff. And as I've already noted before, Brian Windhorst has been following Team USA every step of the way. He'll be there in China this year. He'll be in Tokyo next year for the Olympics. So he knows what he's talking about, and he gets the word from like league executives. He's able to kind of plug his ear close to the train tracks and listen to what's going on. And so,
also interesting dynamic about the new additions, Bogdanovich and Conley and Davis and Jeff Green, and how they can really help this team.
And you know what's crazy is everyone
ways.
Forgets that we signed Jeff Green.
Yes.
I mean, everyone's talking about Bogdanovich.
Everyone talks about Bogdanovich and Conley. They don't talk about Ed Davis. They don't talk about
and they definitely don't talk about Jeff Green. Jeff Green actually in the playoffs, and Brian Windhorst was not exaggerating when he's good for about 2 playoff games per series. After that, you're not getting anything from the guy, usually, at least in Boston. Can things change here with a different roster? Who the heck knows? But you're going to get solid minutes from a lot of this roster that's deep, even though it's not a lot of known names after the starters, to be honest with you. The question is what is the starting lineup going to look like, and what is Quinn Snyder going to focus on? If it's shooting, it's going to be different than defense, your starting lineup. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, these are guys that can shoot, the guys that can play, but guys who also don't mind playing defense.
Yeah, which is what they really need. And the length of Bogdanovich will be bothersome for many of the guys at his position. it's going to give a lot of guys problems. And then when you add on the fact that Rudy Gobert is standing underneath, waiting for you, that doesn't make things all that much easier. And Quinn Snyder is a defensive maniac. Look, he'll talk offense. Sure, he doesn't mind it. He'll talk with you about the Spanish Europe pick and roll. But he'd rather talk to you about locking down for 24 seconds of a shot clock and what it means to be able to get through a pick and roll, what it means to be able to switch when you have to, what it means to be able to double or trap in the corner. I mean, he'll absolutely talk your ear off about it. That in old Western movies, by the way. But his main focus is defense, and that's what he wants to work on more. And that's what he wants to see more of coming from this basketball team. And so, I'm excited to see what they can bring. I think the hype train is a little bit too much. I don't think they're going to win an NBA championship this year. May not win it next year either. But,
well, I think there's a general feeling that there's nobody at the top of the mountain of the NBA right now just looking down and knocking any challengers aside. Because that was Golden State for a long time.
Well, I think it's the Clippers this year.
And then Toronto came and kind of upset everything. Yeah. And then it reset when Kawhi left.
Yeah.
But I think that there's a sense in the NBA that it's a more wide open field this year than it's been in the last 4 or 5. And yes, there are going to be some significant challengers because they all feel that same way. Clippers, Lakers, and I think there's going to be some interesting things in the East with the Sixers, with the Celtics, several others. Indiana could be interesting with Victor Oladipo coming back. So I think there's a more of a sense that it's a more wide open field than it used to be. So
yeah,
but I think that should give Jazz fans thought like, hey, why not us?
But look, when the Jazz
why can't we be one of those teams that can make a run at it?
Well, when the Jazz assembled this very roster before Kawhi chose to go to LA and destroy everything that was optimistic for every team in the NBA, the Jazz were probably either 1 or 2 in the Western Conference easily.
Yeah, true.
Easily. But now with Paul George and Kawhi skipping to LA, and with Russell Westbrook going to Houston, it changes a lot of things, a ton of things, and it maybe even bumps the Jazz down. Now, am I saying the Jazz can't upset a team? No, they can absolutely. They have the ability to be able to beat any team in the league, but to do it for 7 straight games or for 4 straight games, might be asking a little too much.
It's going to be a fun season, though.
Yeah.
Bottom line, this is going to be a fun season.
If the Jazz can stay healthy, watch out.
Yes,
things are going to get really fun.
Very true. All right, coming up next here on the Full Court Press, it's pick 6 time.
No one cares. We're skipping that.
It's the best time of the week.
I don't have time for Eric.
Your gift last time was so good. I haven't been bothering you too much about how you owed me for this week.
I gave you 2 gifts.
True. That's why I said I'm not. But they came at the same time. They weren't spread out over 2 weeks. Yeah, but that was for the next week.
That's because I knew I was going to lose the following week, so I gave you a second gift.
I purposely tried to lose last week because it was your birthday.
No, you didn't. You're such a liar.
But
you made bad picks and got away with it. Just say it.
There was that. Yes, I got lucky. Not denying that. So we'll see what happens this week. We'll get into the things we think might happen this weekend. Our pick 6, things that we'd love to have you choose along with us as well. How would you vote on these 6 things we'll discuss coming up next on the Full Court Press?
Talking the sports you care about. The Full Court Press on Sports Talk Radio, 106.9 FM, 1390 AM. The Fan.
Eric Frandsen, Ajay Salvesen, Full Court Press.
I have an odd question for you. Has the football size got bigger since 2007?
The size of the football?
Yeah, have they made it bigger?
Not to my knowledge.
Because I'm looking at photos of Tom Brady on Google, and the way he holds a football, it just looks smaller in his hands in 2007 than it does now, and his hands are huge.
Maybe his hands have been shrinking since he's gotten older.
No, they haven't, Eric.
'Cause he's old.
Your
He has
hands
to
don't
wear-
shrink when you get old, Eric.
He has to wear a special glove, and it shrinks his hand.
I'm asking a sincere question, and you're making fun of me. Like,
I have not heard of anything about shrinking the size of the football,
no,
other than what the Patriots tried to
enlarging the
do
football.
in letting air out of them,
They didn't let air out of the freaking foot. I will not have this conversation with you right now.
or making it bigger for adding more air into the football. No, I have not heard. I've not heard this.
Why is that football so small in his hand? But look at like a tooth. Here, Google it.
I'm not
with
going to
me.
allow you to distract us from getting into the pick six.
Just Google it with me. Google 2017 Brady in images in Google. Let's just see what he looks like.
So last week,
It looks so much more.
I should have been
huge.
able to
Why?
pick first because I won. But because it was your birthday, I allowed you to do some things first. And I just kind of went along with it. But this week, I don't know. I'm going to go.
Good
So-
for you. I gotta find out what the ball's gotten big.
Here's the thing. We're going to go. We pick 6 different things
Yes.
we think might happen this week. And we
See, that one
invite
just
you to
looks like
play
it's
along.
longer. It's weird. What is this?
This will be our music for today.
Why?
I don't know. Need something.
Can I change it?
Okay, since we're talking about Tom Brady, he's the topic of my first on the pick 6. Tom Brady, passes thrown in his exhibition game this weekend. So passes thrown by Tom Brady this weekend in an exhibition game, 5.5. Do you go over or under?
Over.
I'm going to take the under.
Good for you. Why does that ball look so much bigger coming out of his hand? See, that one
Switching
looks a
to
little smaller.
baseball, who will lead the American League Central Monday
oh my
morning?
Good gosh, dude.
This is the American League Central. Very, very tight race going on right now. Half a game separates the Twins and Cleveland. Will it be the Twins? Will it be Minnesota? Or will it be Cleveland?
Who's leading right now by how much?
Twins by half a game.
Twins.
Twins, before you make up your mind, let me just tell you this. So you have all the facts. The Twins have a weekend series at the Texas Rangers. Cleveland has a weekend series at the New York Yankees.
Indians.
You're going Cleveland. I'm going with Minnesota. All right, last one. Team. I have to turn that down. It's making me laugh. Team USA has
Turn it up. It puts me in the thinking mood.
Team USA has an
Turn it up.
exhibition game.
Turn it up right now, or else I'm not
Against-
answering this. Turn it up.
It ended. It's over.
No, it didn't. You're
Yes, it
just
did. I
push
turned it
replay. All you have to do is push replay. Thank you. Now go ahead. Eric, for his final pick 6.
Team USA plays against Spain in an exhibition game tomorrow night in Anaheim. Donovan Mitchell, points.
You stole mine.
I've set it at 12.5.
Over, you jerk. I gotta make up a new one.
I'm going to take the over. All right, what have you got?
Kemba Walker, tomorrow night, 17.5 points, over under.
Kemba Walker, 17.5.
Yeah,
I'm going to take the under.
I'll take the under. Patriots by 9.5, over under.
I'm going to take the under.
Really? I'll take the over. Mountain Crest by 7.5, over under.
Ooh, I like it. Throwing a little high school football in there.
Yeah, I made it up because I had nothing else to give you.
I'm going to take the over.
I'm going to take the over as well.
Okay, so here's the recap. Tom Brady passes 5.5. You went over, I went under. Who will lead the American League Central Monday morning? You said Cleveland, I said Minnesota. Points by Donovan Mitchell versus Spain in their exhibition game coming up tomorrow night at 12.5. We both took the over. Kemba Walker points at 17.5. We both took the under in that same game. That's the end of the
I would like you to replay that music again.
Patriots at 9.5 in their exhibition game.
Thank you.
I took the under, you took the over. And Mountain Crest by 7.5 in their game at Provo. No, excuse me, they're at Salem Hills. We both took the over on that one. So we'll post this on 106.9 The Fan on their Facebook page, on our Facebook page there. Also share it on our personal Twitter accounts. Love to get your thoughts. How would you vote on our pick 6 for this week? So dramatic music, which I think should change. I don't know if it'll be the same one next week. Just have to wait and see what it's like when you come back. Coming up next, some final thoughts about what's going on tomorrow. Big weekend ahead of us. Team USA exhibition game. We got a lot of high school football games, and NFL preseason is underway as well. We've got some NFL preseason games going on tonight. So we'll update you on what's going on, where, how you can follow along. All that's coming up next here on the Full Court Press.
The Aggies are number one here. The Full Court Press. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, and online at 1069thefan.com.
Eric Frandsen, Ajay Salvesen. Yeah, go check us out on 1069thefan.com. That's where you can also find the link to participate in our Preps Pick'em contest. Select teams you think are going to win in high school football. You could win cool prizes, including at the very end a 65-inch 4K TV from Lynn's Audio and Video. The whole contest is powered by and presented by Locker 42. So they'll be participating and sharing some prizes along the way as well. So a lot of fun. Go make your picks. And we're going to adjust to who the experts are, because right now there's only one expert, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't view himself as an expert in any shape or form. He just helped set it up. So I'm going to try to get in there and fix it.
Good luck to that gentleman.
Yeah. Tonight, NFL preseason games continue, and a couple games have already started. Jets have already found the end zone, or was it a couple field goals? It was a field goal. Sorry, my mistake. Jets have kicked some field goals, but Eagles just scored. They're on the board against the Jaguars. Jets are at the Falcons. Bengals are at the Redskins. The Ravens are hosting the Packers. And the Raiders are at the Cardinals. So those are the games going on tonight. Right now, the only game that hasn't started yet is the Raiders and Cardinals. That game will start here in about 5 or 10 minutes. Everything else is already underway. So a lot of different things going on to check out for the NFL. And tomorrow, high school football gets started. I guess there's some high school football starting tonight.
Yep.
Kind of an early
couple
kickoff.
Of games. Big, more of the like out-of-state, big games stuff is going on today.
But for us here at the Cache Valley Media Group, games start tomorrow. We're going to be carrying all the teams in Region 11. We'll give you a rundown about who's playing where and what the outlook looks like. By the way, the Bear River Bears, they won't see their head coach on the sidelines for Game 1. He's suspended for the first game. So we'll get into that and why and if that might affect things for the Bears. So we'll get into that tomorrow. Stay tuned for that and get you set for our 5 best tomorrow as well. We'll always go through all that list, our 5 best, find out what it's going to be, what we're going to go through for our 5 best.
For Brian Simmons, I'm Bill Windhorse. Thanks for joining us.
Have a great night, everybody.
Hunting season is almost here, and Sportsman's Warehouse has you covered. From ducks to deer.